Wilkinson. Appreciate you all attending. Sorry there's been a couple of changes in plans here over the last couple of weeks, but glad that everybody was able to find us here. We originally were going to do it over at the station side. So we'd like to start it out in Wilkinson tradition with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody can stand up and help us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And there's no comma, that's why you keep going straight through.
Yeah, if you're in boot camp in the Coast Guard and you put a comma in between where they're in there and you pause between one nation under God, you do get to give them some push-ups.
That was a little change here for us when he came here on how we did the Pledge of Allegiance. So, all right. So this part of the ceremony, this is just going to be some thank yous and some signs of respect. And then there will be more to follow later this evening, and we'll go over that as the night goes through. There was a sign-up sheet if anybody else is interested in speaking or presenting anything tonight that didn't get a chance to sign up. Don't worry, we'll get to that here in a little bit. First of all, as the new chief of Summers Fire Department, I would like to thank Chief Wilkinson for the condition he left the department in. He was able to, in his short time here, get us a lot of new equipment. Which makes our jobs easier. So we are in a lot better situation than we were a few years ago equipment-wise. And he's taught me a lot over the last 5.5 years. And I know he's just a phone call away when I run into problems and headaches moving forward as the chief. So, Chief, thank you for what you've done so far. And thank you for being there if I need something here in the future, but I am going to try to let you enjoy your retirement as much as possible. Wow. Well, he does have his application for the fire bells, and so we'll make sure that he stays busy and leaves you alone once in a while. So.
Thank you.
So we're going to get started here. I've got a couple of things I'd like to present on behalf of the Summers Fire Department and Summers Association, and then we'll move on with some other gifts and speakers. First gift here, this is from myself, the department, and the association all combined. It's just a little memorial shadow box for Chief Wilkinson. Got a little bit of everything here. He's got his original Chief's badge, an honorary one from the association, his Mavis ID, our patch, and our special teams logo. He was very supportive of all the extra stuff we do here in Summers. Myself with the dive team, he was the liaison chief for the county hazmat team, really supported our special teams and special rescue operations, so we wanted to make sure that we included that in our gift. Here will help set stuff over on your table. Second one here is another gift from the department to the association with the assistance of several other members of county fire and rescue agencies help us make this happen. This is a flag with a display plaque here. This flag was flown over the station of Summers Fire and Rescue in honor of the effort and time and integrity, compassion that you committed to this department over the last 6 years, so that you have something that's part of this station, part of this department to go home with you.
I don't know what to say.
And then, since he did spend so much time here and did so much for us, somebody else deserves a gift. So for Mrs. Chief, we have a gift for you.
I may never get into it.
Craig, you got a knife? Come on.
Thanks for your dedication and support over the years. I'm sure it wasn't easy being home without Chief, and your sacrifice hasn't gone unnoticed. Relax. Summers Fire and Rescue Association. It's the first time in 47 years that I've had him home 24/7. It's really different. Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Just some comfort items to make it a little less stressful since you have to deal with them now that we don't have to. Next, if I can have the President Strom from Summers Local 4831 come up for your presentation.
We're going to go back here if he wants to walk back.
Okay?
All right.
He's kidding.
He's kidding. I don't know exactly what they got for you. So.
Way to go, Strong.
They gladly pushed me out of the union, and I've been.
He's retired. He can't tell me what to do anymore.
Just a second, watch this with his arm. No.
But he knows people. All right, Chief, for your time in service and dealing with us as a union, we want to present you with a plaque congratulating you on your retirement and your years of service for us. We were easy on you.
You were.
Not too many grievances. We saved those all for the new chief. It's coming. Jan, we didn't get you a present.
It's okay.
But we really did, because he's now yours. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Right? So, on behalf of the union, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure working with you guys.
And we know why you were good to us, so we can really support you in that run for your village trustee. So, we're on that. Thank you. Good luck to you guys, too.
Thank you.
Next, if I can have Samantha Kirkman, State Representative, please come forward.
I was looking to see if Representative McGuire was here with, but I don't see that he is coming in, so. Chief, I'm not as weepy as I was at my last retirement, but you know, he's here in the audience too, and I just want to talk a little bit. 40 years. That's what I'm here to recognize tonight. It might be 6 years as your chief here in Summers, but it is to the entire county that you've started. I've heard the stories. I've been with you at other events, and know that you had served this community well. Now I'm going to get weepy. Because of your relationships with the men that are sitting over here and women that are over here with the chiefs, that I know that if you lived in Randall, Twin Lakes, Pleasant Prairie, Summers, that you were looking out for all of us. I'm not a resident of the town of Summers. Or the village and town of Summers.
There you go.
But I know that you were always here to serve the entire county, the region, whether it was a call here or even over the border in Illinois. And these are the things that every day that you did and your family sacrificed. And it's the legacy that you leave. I think the chief alluded to that. The legacy you leave here, but the legacy your family leaves, because you've passed the torch. And that's what makes you who you are. And that's why I wanted to be here today to recognize you for all your years. I know we've been talking about this for a little bit, but I am really honored to be here today to celebrate with you as you start that next chapter. And so myself and my colleagues, Senator Wirch, Senator Wongard, and Representative McGuire, put a citation together. So I'm going to put on my readers because I've crossed over to that threshold. And I just want folks to know all the things that you have done in Kenosha County since the time you were 14. The state of Wisconsin, whereas Carson Wilkinson retired from his position as the chief of the Summers Fire and Rescue Department in the fall of 2021, after 40 plus years in the field of public safety and motorsports. And whereas Carson previously served as the safety director and risk manager for Road America, a race course located near Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, a firefighter, an apparatus operator, a division chief of safety and training for the Kenosha Fire Department, a firefighter and EMT for Pleasant Prairie Fire Department, a firefighter for the Salem Fire Department, and worked for the private ambulance service. And he started his career in the fire and rescue service with the Scout Leader, Rescue Squad, and Explorer program at age 14. And whereas Carson has served as an adjunct faculty member for the Lakeshore Technical College, Moraine Park Technical College, and Gateway Technical College, and has served in the roles of Vice President of the Wisconsin Society of Fire Service Instructors, the Secretary of the Technical Committee of National Fire Protection Association, and is also a dive master, which I didn't know as well until recently. And whereas Carson has a strong commitment to his family and now be able to spend more time with Jan, his loving wife, and his sons, David, whom he's passed that torch to, and his daughter, Kelly, and his grandchildren, Nicholas and Sydney. And therefore, be it hereby resolved that State Senators Van Wongard and Robert Wirch, on behalf of the Wisconsin State Senate, and State Representatives Samantha Kirkman and Tip McGuire, on behalf of the Wisconsin State Assembly, hereby congratulate Carson Wilkinson on his retirement and wish him many relaxing years ahead. Signed, Senator Bob Wirch, Van Wongard, Representative Kirkman, and Representative McGuire. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So have fun. Have fun. Congratulations.
All right. Next, I would like to invite up Mr. Bowe.
You're chopping already.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
I'm not used to speaking without a microphone in front of me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rich Bosanko. I go by the name Bo. I'm a retired battalion chief with the City of Kenosha Fire Department. I'm also retired Vice President Emeritus of Local 414. I was the Vice President for 14 years, so I know a little bit about labor management relations and a little bit about the chief out here and his relationship with the union. I think I think it went pretty well. There's going to be a roast going on a little bit later tonight, and I'm emceeing it. That's why I wore my costume, and I made $5 parking in the parking lot earlier. So, and after 16 years of being retired, you'll notice I can still fit into it. Take notice of this, chief. Oh no, there'll be no weight jokes here tonight. Now, for my entire 28 years on the fire department, I was the skinniest guy on the job, and took every thin boy joke that you can imagine. So I'm kind of, I know what it means for people's weight, so I don't really want to go there tonight. So tonight I just really came here to honor Carson. I'll pound him a little bit later on tonight. So I don't really know. It's really hard to have anything unkind to say about Chief Wilkinson, right? I mean, we all know he's got a heart of gold and Golden Corral. Well, you like that, huh? I'm just warming up for tonight, Chief. But now I'll be polite. And I wasn't going to say anything until Samantha mentioned he was a dive master, and the first thing that came to my mind was Carson in the swimming pool with a thong swimsuit on. Oh, I can't say that tonight. So thanks for that one, Sam. My poor wife's over there going, what is he doing? And none of this is on this card, you know. I got some, I can't even read what I have. But what I really want to say is, this guy behind me, I was fortunate enough to work with him on the Kenosha Fire Department. He's been a leader in the fire service throughout this state, whether you know it. And Sam was right when she spoke about what he's done in the county, but he was active throughout the state during his career in the fire service. His career as training chief for the Kenosha Fire Department. He brought our department, the standards up, just up to here with what he did. Did a lot of stuff we didn't agree with, but most of it was for our own good. He always had our back, always had our backside, our safety, and the welfare of the firefighters was his #1 concern. And I know he did that as training chief. I know he did it as an instructor for Gateway. I know he did it at the racetrack with his department up there and the race drivers. I know he did it here in Summers. And Chief Anderson said it right when he said he's left this department in pretty good shape. I think he has. And that's a testament to all the Summers firefighters, to the Bunky Tabbers, to Steve Krause's, to the Ben Andersons, to all of the firefighters over the years that have built this department to what it is today. And you should all be proud of that, every one of you. And Chief Wilkins was a big part of that. And like I say, or like Chief Anderson said, he's left this department in pretty good shape. I think that's a pretty good mark of a fire chief. I look around this room, I see some pretty impressive retired chiefs sitting there, and I know what they did for their departments. I'll pound on them a little bit later. But so I just want to say that Chief Wilkinson epitomizes what the fire service is all about. Comes from a firefighting family. Imagine how proud he was when his son David became a firefighter and now assistant chief, I believe, right? His son-in-law Mike, assistant chief in Buffalo Grove. I mean, I watched David grow up since he was born. So, and Jan, I know how proud you got to be of the fire service family sitting right behind me. I'm proud of them all. I think the chief's biggest legacy is going to be the kids that he taught as young firefighters, both as training chief, when he was teaching for Gateway, when he was the fire chief here, the kids that he hired or the firefighters that he hired, because your department's only as good as your weakest firefighter. And if they're not trained properly and they don't train, it'll show up, it'll hurt you down the road. You just think of all the careers that you molded over the years. Young kids that are now maybe, oh, look at that one, assistant chief? And, so I think that's part of your legacy, Chief. I think something you should be really proud of. So that being said, there's nothing on this side. I just want to say how proud I am to have worked with you, to call him brother. In the fire service, we're brothers and sisters. We're a family. This guy is my brother. I love him as a brother. I was fortunate enough to work with him. I'm honored to call him Chief, and I wish you and Jan the best of luck, Chief.
Boom.
You got it, brother. I'll get you back. That's all I got.
Up next, Chief LaCar, representing the Kenosha County Chiefs Captains Association, Kenosha County Fire Rescue Association, whatever name is going by it this week.
Chief John Nieder sends his well wishes to you, Chief. Couldn't be here today. Thanks for all you've done for Division 101. Most notably the radio system that you worked tirelessly on through Mr. Jim Cruiser's office, Chief Slover, and some of the other ones that have packaged that up for you, and you took the ball and hit the ground running. I really appreciate it because, my wife, who really doesn't say a whole lot, Chief Wilkinson, I can now hear his spirited on-scene reports, and she says, "My goodness, who is that guy?" When that radio system woke up, it gave her a lot of material. So, Chief, thanks very much. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
And good luck in your retirement.
Come on, you never heard of heavy, super heavy damage at a car accident on scene report before? That was in Fire 1. All right, next up, Chief Craig Rupke from Pleasant Prairie Fire Department. I know nothing.
One of the things that Bo mentioned, he didn't actually just come out and say it, but he kind of basically went around it, is that, we have the opportunity and the privilege to do a job we love. For most of us, we love to come to work. Not everybody can say that. And so that's one thing. I mean, I think you didn't actually say it that way, but in a roundabout way, you actually said it. We love what we do, we love our job, and we love to come to work. Now, there are days, we kind of cringe, maybe an administrative day meeting or things like that. But, for the most part, we love to come to work. The other thing is that, the fire service, as Bo alluded to as well, is a small group. We're a close-knit group. And if something happens on north side, I guarantee you south side's gonna know about it. And, that's one of the things that we really love about, this group, Kenosha County, KFD. We have some great people, and to what has been already said, numerous times already, Chief Wilkinson's leaving this organization, in a great way. And, to go further, I have the opportunity and privilege to be able to work with his son. And I always get I'm always not sure what's happening up in Summers. I can always walk around the office and go, what's going on in north of us, because he'll usually get it at supper time or the next time they actually, visit. But, so it's been a privilege to work with you, Carson, and we'd just like to present this plaque. Basically, and I'll try to read it. I think I'm just going to put my glasses like Samantha said, because it's just easier to read it that way. But it reads, presented to Fire Chief Carson Wilkinson, Summers Fire and Rescue 6300, for his appreciation for your years of service and commitment to public safety from the Pleasant Prairie Fire and Rescue Department. So, Carson, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, can't pick that up.
All right. Next up will be Jeff Flash, representing Frederick South.
Thanks, Ben. So I'm here this afternoon to represent Frederick South, but Carson and I have a long friendship and history as co-workers together. I think right about 45 years, I think. And I can remember when Carson took the chief's job and we met right here, and I think, gosh, besides Bo and Captain Hylinski, I think we had probably 20, 25 guys from Kenosha Fire all here, Phil Johnson. And, after, between now and then, I just can't tell you how proud I am that we're here to back you on that day, because you did everything that we expected of you and more. In my opinion, the right guy for the right job at the right time. So to echo a little bit from Bo and from Representative Kirkman, this man has done so much for the county. We wanted to reflect that in the plaque that we're giving him from the hospital system. So, Carson, this is for you, Chief Carson Wilkinson, with sincere appreciation for your distinguished leadership in fire and EMS for the residents of the Village of Summers and the citizens of Kenosha County, from your friends at Frederick South. Get a picture of each here. Just take a picture with me. Thanks, buddy.
He's the old guy. We're actually he's 2 days older than I am.
All right. Next up, Dick Karth of Midwest Council of Racing.
How many are firefighters? Raise your hand. I've never been amongst so many firefighters in my life, except for the time we were living in New York City, in Manhattan, and a fire truck went by, and we were out walking, so we followed it. And there was a little apartment fire, big tall building, second floor. I counted 100 pieces of equipment. But it looks great to see you all here. How many of you have worked with Carson and Jan up at Road America or at Black Hawk Farms? It's great to see you. That's how my wife Kathy and I met, Carson and Jan. I started racing cars when I was 52 in 2005. Went up to Road America for the Skip Barber School, and the instructors talked about Carson. I wonder who Carson is. Jim Carson, John Carson, Mike Carson. I don't know, never saw him. Went up there again for Northwood Shelby Club. It was raining. I had a Datsun, our Nissan 300ZX, took it out. Coming out of the carousel, I spun it around 3 times in the wet track. They black flagged me, which means come in and visit with us. And I got chewed out, and the guy says, "You're really lucky Carson didn't see that." Who's Carson? What's this Carson guy? So, went up. I actually bought a stock car that Dick Trickle from Wisconsin Rapids had driven for Junie Donlevy, 750 horsepower, and went out and took it, was up there for a Midwestern Council event. About the fourth time around the track, I'm picking up some confidence, and I'm going pretty fast down the main straightaway, probably 150 miles an hour. And we get past the start-finish line, and they're waving yellow flag. Oh, so I kind of lifted. There's nobody around me, so I didn't have to worry about not passing. Look at corner one. They're waving the yellow flag, which means track blockage or something. So I turn into corner one, get down to the apex and look up, and there's 3 trucks, 6 guys, about probably half of them were women, not more than 5 or 6 feet from the edge of the track. And I'm going about 60 miles an hour. And I thought to myself, if the guy in front of me had dropped oil and I hammered it on the way out, I'm sliding sideways into these people. And that made a huge impression on me. And ever since then, I've thought, how in the world can these people go out and work what we call a hot track? Cars going by really fast. Because he taught them how to do it. He taught them how to do it safely, how to block properly. One of the things I've learned about motorsports is I like racing at Road America because almost everybody up there was trained by Carson. I know if something bad happens, I'm going to be well taken care of. And not only is it on the track that I'm going to be well taken care of, I know that the right people are going to be dispatched. Jan was taking care of that. And she's trained the people behind them. So on behalf of everybody in motorsports, congratulations, Carson, on a job well done. One last thing. How many people can retire from 3 different jobs? You know, when I met Carson and Jan, found out about their background, and he retired, went up to Road America, and he has this nice career up there. And I'm thinking, I wonder what he's going to do when he retires. And the next thing I know, he's coming back home. So, I mean, I'm very envious of somebody that can have 3 distinct careers. And I always knew Carson did a really good job, but tonight, or this afternoon, I found out that he really does a good job. Congratulations, good luck.
Thank you for that. They're not completely independent careers because he's brought the racetrack here to us. I feel that the roads here in Summers after a car accident are now the cleanest roads anywhere. The cleanup rules that he brought after car accidents here, I think would meet NASCAR standards. So,
Better than NASCAR.
probably better than NASCAR's. Yes. The tow truck drivers around here love us because we have everything super cleaned up before they even get there. Between brooms, oil dry, leaf blowers, different type of cleanup equipment. That is one thing that he brought from racing here to Summers that has gone a long way. That's everybody that I have signed up. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak tonight? No? All right. Next, before we conclude our ceremony here, we'd like to give Chief Wilkinson an opportunity to speak if he wishes. We did set a 10-minute time limit on everybody.
Only 10?
I'm willing to give you 15 because we know you get long-winded, but the floor is yours.
Well, they used to, sometimes when I'm teaching, I used to put somebody in the back of the room up with a stop sign, so, you know, like, it's time for break for everybody.
Rob's doing that in the corner.
Yeah.
I also have Cindy set up.
So, but I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm overwhelmed by what you say. It has been a related career. I got a letter yesterday from Bob Langeth. Not many of you would know Bob here in the room. You might know him because you might do business with the company he has, Eagle Engraving now, to get your passport tags and other things. When I first met Bob, he was a lieutenant on Salem Fire Department. And he convinced me to help him as one of my projects for Boy Scouts with the little fire prevention stuff. And the next thing I knew, this 14-year-old kid, besides being on Scout Leaders, is going on fire calls with Bob. And another guy by the name of John Rieselman decided that, well, he's here all the time, we should decide to make it official. So they created the position of junior firefighter, which I was the first one. Many years later, I was honored to become an honorary member of that fire association, a lifetime honorary member of that fire association with Scout Leaders. After getting on Kenosha Fire, I moved into Kenosha for a little bit, and then we bought our first house out in Pleasant Prairie. And this guy by the name of Roy said he was fire chief. He's actually Roy Graham, pretty good guy. And another guy that had been maintenance man at our apartment building we were renting before we bought the house says, gee, why don't you come help us a little bit in Pleasant Prairie? I was on Kenosha, and at that time it wasn't a big problem, so I helped out a little bit in Pleasant Prairie, and next thing I know, I'm helping them start a rescue squad up. And this is while I'm on Kenosha. And it just moved forward. Back with Scout Leaders, I started working racing. I never really left. I had the pleasure of working with IndyCar, CART as it was known back then, and other groups. And if any of you are into racing, 3 good friends recommended me to go part-time to Road America while I was still on Kenosha. A guy by the name of Wally Dullenbach. If you're into IndyCar racing, you know who he is. And Lon Bromley and Dave Hollander, may they rest in peace, 2 good friends that were Safety 1 and Safety 2 at the time for CART. And they recommended that not only that they hire me, but then that led to me being hired full-time in 2001 there and leaving Kenosha Fire after a lot of fun there. And it's been an honor. Everybody I've worked with, thank you. I could go on and on, but just, you know, everybody has helped me along the way, and I just still continue to improve. Ben, congratulations. I'm looking forward to good things for you. I know you will do well. You've got some challenges, and you know, the one big challenge that Chief Anderson is fighting is one that is nationwide, and that's the lack of staff on fire departments. It's a nationwide problem. The fire service was founded on the volunteer system. The volunteer system, I'm sorry, today is not working well. You just have to look at the Kiwanis Club I used to belong to in Kenosha. I recently was with a couple of the members. When I left that club in 2001, we had over 100 members. Today they have 25. And that is down in the fire service. The other challenge of it is, where do you find the money to pay the people to do the job? And that's one that I know every elected official, and village administrator and everything else, whether you're in Summers, Pleasant Prairie, Bristol, Kenosha, you're fighting with. So I ask everybody, just keep that in mind. The one other thing I'll mention real quick, today's National Move Over Day. Hey Dave, why do we have National Move Over Day?
I don't remember.
So usually I don't know, in January of 2001, he got hit by a car on I-94. So keep that in mind, that there's a reason, whether it be a public works truck out there, a wrecker out there working, fire, our friends from law enforcement, move over, give them a break. If not, slow down. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll have some fun over at the other one. I think they're going to have some pictures over at the other one for you to laugh at, look at.
There may be.
I know my wife was getting a bunch of them the other day put together, so enjoy. Thank you, Chief.
All right, again, this will conclude the ceremony portion of today's events. You're free to stick around and talk and mingle some here if you wish. We have some coffee and water. Otherwise, we'll be transitioning down to Cortez's Restaurant at 1300 Sheridan Road for some food, which is graciously being covered cost-wise by some donations of both some local vendors in the fire service and some private contributions. So please feel free to come down and take part of that. And then along with the food will be a roast emceed by Chief Bo, where you can take your shots at the big guy here as you choose to. What time are we allowed to have people start entering down there?
You guys are welcome there at 6 o'clock. I'm sure the cash bar will appreciate you showing up before that, but dinner should be ready around 6:30.
So that concludes the ceremony. Again, thank you, Chief and family, for borrowing him to us for the last several years. We appreciate it.
You want him back?
Huh?
We'll share.
We'll find ways for him to stay busy in the future.
Sure.
All right. Thank you again for coming, everybody.
Thank you.